Ha! Those are my shoes. Ha! Ha! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. That's right, it's great to be alive. Here's your host, Shyzabox.
Oh, is the show starting? Oh, it must be. We heard our introduction. Oh, everybody loves us. Oh, I thought we were off today. Hey, giddy up, girl. Good girl. Get out of here. And the horse. You rode in on. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all, priests, preachers, cardinals, rabbis, bishops, weirdos with beardos, Alcoholics Anonymous, anyone who accidentally clicked on this because their algorithm might be a little messed up. K-Money. Well, believe you me, K-Money, it's because of you we're here. That's right. Believe you me, we thought we were off today. No. K-Money, not only did you make us come to work today. Hey, don't boo K-Money. We go way back. K-Money, we were gonna, knock off and not do anything today, but alas, lo and behold, it was that of your message that drove us to do stuff. Okay? Now, K-Money, we're going to be honest with you. We take anyone at their word and stuff like that, but you got to keep in mind that with it being the weekend and banks being closed and, services not rendering that of their, computational, dealings until that of the start of business on Monday morning. That's not our doing or anything like that. We take your word at everything, but obviously in our reflective things, we can't. We put you up on the board merely at your word, okay? That's right. Kev, you're up here. We even moved, we had our recorded author copies that have been accounted for in the accountings of the actual copies of the book, okay? We got 25 author copies, okay? That's it. We're doing a little, kind of try and kickstart. No one wanted it, I don't know why you laugh at that, Internet. You're ruthless. Of course you are. But K-Money, we got you right up there. We got you at one. Presumably, we take it it's the physical one. We didn't ask in the commentification. But as soon as we get the system to verify, because, of course, we need to go off verification, yeah, we will scratch that out. And thusly, the test is fully in gear, strictly on your own accord. Okay? Now, has it not gone through? No, it probably went through. That's the thing. It probably has gone through. But remember, banks and everything like that are closed on the weekends, on Sundays, and things of that nature. So any sale, anything like that will not show up until the start of opening businesses on that of Monday. Okay? It's how just, all of that stuff works or whatever. Banks, it's the day of rest because, they need to take their time off too. They work hard holding on to everyone else's money and profiting off it when they hold on to it and lord it over others to lend it out to them. Seems a little broken, but alas, it is what it is. But no, it will probably go through and punch through straight thing as soon as open a business on that of Monday. And that's how it works. But lo and behold, as we were going to just be off today and such anyway, it was that of your comment that rolled us out and said, get to work, jerk face. That's us. We're the jerk face. K-Money needs to see that of his works in their action. And K-Money, it's because of you that we're even here now. Okay? That's right. So we got you up here. We got the physical copy. We will scratch that out as soon as the catch-up of everything, because believe you me, it's full circle. We take everything at that of what is presented to us, but we needs that verification on their metrics that are recorded for it to necessarily apply to the secretive measures and metrics of New York Times and things of that nature. That's how the intelligence paradox is designed. It has to be. But we did see in its initial recordings that De-Lektable still in itself has maintained its pricing itself at 94% off for the physical copy. Don't buy it. K-Money, you broke the system. You weren't supposed to buy this book if indeed this is the physical one that you bought to reflect and annotate up there, obviously. You weren't supposed to buy this K-Money. It tricked you. But believe you me, it is thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag, and believe you me as well, there are many usages therewith, should one look into that therewith, obviously, for philosophical entertainment, that many usages can be done therewith. Lectin are crazy, believe you me. Let's see what we're missing. Understandable, I had to use my grandma's Amazon account to order it because I don't have one. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Hopefully everything worked correctly. We shall see you tomorrow morning. Hey. And should something fail safe, irrelevant, it don't matter. You know, because of even an attempt, even a trial, and we know that you followed up on it on more than one basis, an account of even talking about it after awaiting a whole tire repair, right? Believe you me, it's, completely at the means and measures with which they are recorded in the metrics, but, everything is as it is. Broke the system, down with the system, up with the Shyzabox, my dude. Yeah, well, believe you me, we like to navigate that very, very precarious line, all right, in analytical kind of geometry, all right? When you have these systems that operate, you have these corporations that have their entire apparatuses fully functional, they do whatever they do, they don't care about the common man. Hey, they will kick you to the curb, they will stomp on you, they will alienate you, they will, rob you of that of one's rights in a heartbeat because they are an entity in a corporation and not a living, feeling being. And believe you me, there are ironically living, feeling beings that would do just the same, even though they are living, feeling beings, presumably. Now, it's not a good thing. That's right. Keep up. Point is that you have corporations that inherently don't care about the little guy and will do whatever within their confines or powers to maintain their systemic growth in their apparatus and accord. So you have these entities operating on their fully functional dynamics, okay? They're their own closed loop system. They function in their own metrics of understanding, okay? Same way we do, same way anyone else does on their day-to-day life, okay? We utilize that radical access, okay, that point where when two circles never intersect, all right, can navigate through or whatever directly without necessarily touching either one of them, okay? That affords us the opportunity to utilize the structured foundation of lithic logic, that of the stone foundation, that of theoretically what the ancients used once upon a time, all right, to maintain a solid foundation of understanding. Thusly, hence why everything was made of monolithic stone, okay? It withstands the test of time, and you can utilize that of, the thermal and magnetic differentials, all right, of the Earth's core itself and what is inherently combined and maintained therein with which to do that of what you wish to do, okay? Even utilizing, and you can go to Kaggle, check that of our math, check that of our research. You can go and look at our metrics of the Azure's plateau, all right? There is a 92% confirmability in the mathematics and science therein where you can use all of the thermal and magnetic differentials to power an entire sustainable grid of the entire world. Now, that's pretty crazy, Shyzabox. Where are those receipts again? They're in the descriptum of motherfucking-cation, okay? You can't claim stuff on the internet. It's very bold nowadays without having receipts to back it up. That's why when we say we theoretically decoded the Voynich manuscript, we've done all this, that, the other, we utilize that of Trinuary script over binary computation, even though binary outpaces it in different methodologies of its computational usages. It's when you orthogonally calculate that of Trinuary, where it indeed outperforms that of binary. Oh, what's that? Everything's fine. Huh? Point is that it doesn't matter inherently how these other systems navigate or do that of what they will, okay? You have your big box stores, you have your big, entities that have their whole apparatus intact, okay? Well, our whole apparatus is intact too, because F those guys, okay? No external fact can contradict a closed-loop system, and our closed-loop system is very, 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 very mathematically precise and computationally precise as well. We seal all of our computation with SHA seals, okay? SHA seals, of course, created by the NSA. Hey, we theorize, and again, this is all for philosophical entertainment, we theorize that, the NSA probably didn't even create SHA sealing. They probably rediscovered it of sorts, okay? Now, that's all theoretical. What do we know? We're just crazy old cosmological philosopher without a doctoral degree and such, okay, that goes around spouting off crazy stuff on the of the net zones like X, Y, and Z, crazy of the internet folk. Okay? Now, believe you me, when we tell people not to buy our, book De-Lektable and to rather look to any of our other works, it's because when we monographed lectin, the old ancient pre-stoic philosophical term, you can't ask any of those people about it because they're all dead. Don't laugh at that. They were people. Jeez. You're crazy, internet. When we monographed it, all right, in the book, we never knew inherently that it would afford us the opportunity to really utilize it in the capacities and realms with which we have, right? In utilizing techniques that have been, in essence, presented beforehand from mankind's understanding or limited knowledges thereof, all right? There's a lot more to mankind's understanding that we just purely do not understand. What's going on here? Hello, Maria. Welcome to the show. Hey, Maria. Welcome, welcome. What's at it? Winky wiggle giggle face? I don't know. Do a magic trick. They're cool. Okay, we love our little magic tricks. Here's our floating magic stone. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Ooh, glowy magic orb stone. Fantastic. It's just a flashlight through some rose quartz there. But it looks cool, right? Alas, we don't want to look any crazier on the internet that we already do. K-Money, keep that chat going. You're doing great. K-Money is the whole reason that we're here for this show. K-Money messed up, whoopsie, and got a copy of De-Lektable. Don't celebrate that. We're supposed to be off today. Now, we set our own schedule. We're not one of those good streamers that tells you when they're going to do stuff. We just show up. We wish you wouldn't. Hey, quiet, Mom. But alas, we don't want to look any more ridiculous on the internet than we do. So we must don that of our thinking hat. That's right. I believe we are in a pretty jolly mood today. Calm and cool, nice and crisp. Our thinking hat is on. Thusly, let's reminisce. Or let's not. What's the... Yeah, alright, so yeah, no, that's pretty much the... Yeah, we'll be honest with you. We didn't plan on doing much ponderance today in the realm of additional things that need to be done. Okay? But believe you me, there's plenty to it. We might very well now endeavor to venture upon that of a greater means of studioing. Maybe. All right, we've been wanting for a sec now to kind of redesign, reformat, reformulate, and that of the, let's be honest, crap that we present to all ones of our fans. Hi, Mom. Point is that as we venture into, furtherance, and as that of our, I guess, little resonantial gains are yielded, now, we must grow with that of the foundation that we establish with anyone who wishes to stand upon it with us. And sometimes a good little change of scenery is nice and can afford a nice little aesthetic. That's right. So, alas, that's just more work that maybe we'll take upon ourselves that we have contemplated about doing that we just thusly have not done yet. Who knows? Kev, you've got us to do all sorts of stuff today that we didn't think that we were going to. Believe you me, And it's that mere entanglement, that mere quantum desire to bring into fruition that of more endeavors that we can, embark on disseminating, that of more ways to find it divinely comedy in its own nature to, have that number grow, should it grow, and or not if it doesn't. It is very, very, very entertaining. Hold on, wait. Thoughts on Nephilim? All right, that's a great question. Nephilim thoughts. Well, K-Money, we thought you'd never ask. So Nephilim, inherently, all right, we as Catholics and we as foundationally structured and believing upon that of the Bible in itself, and that's right, whether anyone else does and or does not, that's up to them, okay? Let's look past anyone's basic beliefs, okay? But let's talk about what is structurally there. The Nephilim are recorded and accounted for in a variety of literary interpretations, verbal retellings, and or just associative mentions throughout a vast array of texts and works, both religious and not. Not only that, but with Nephilim actually being mentioned there within that of the Bible itself, yes, inherently we do believe that Nephilim at one point, and or perhaps still in a degree, a iteration, a form, a surviving interpretive metric thereof, either technologically, metaphysically, metaphorically, computationally, okay, we in there know not to the extent their technology ranged, okay? We'll get to we see different dimensions, okay, yeah, on Nephilim, yes, we believe that they therein were there, and obviously, let's focus on what would be structurally arguably sound for logic pertaining to it. Let's go down to the nitty-gritty lithic logic therein, okay? The rock foundation, the stone, all right? If Nephilim, all right, were around, all right, and lived on solid rock, okay, then there would maybe be telltale signs of a giant race of individuals or a giant race of entities or a giant race of beings or a precursor to a smaller iteration or a maybe consider megafauna type version of humanity or a humanoid, okay? You have a Nephilim that would have been grandiose in stature and nature. Maybe an offshoot, maybe that of the Watchers having that of mated with mankind or the female species thereof. Maybe man in some degree, who knows? We don't judge Nephilim or, the Watchers or anything like that. Leave that for God. Ironically, it was his judgment therein that led to, where we kind of sit now. But you got the Nephilim on there, all right? You have accounts of structures that are megalithic in stature that mankind, obviously, at the current metrics, didn't make. Wouldn't have made under any formulation unnecessarily, all right? It's epically ridiculous logic to assume that mankind, all right, in our small stature and iteration, would have made megalithic and monumental structures with doorways that would house even massive greater entities. It's just perplexing to even think that would be contemplatable as a thing, okay? You can't assume that mankind in our state now, what are the tallest people in our races and species that are mankind now, play in the NBA, they're probably 7 feet tall, 6, 7 feet tall, right? Even at our tallest point in humanity's being and things of that nature, there's no way that we went around making 20-foot doorways and structures even more grandiose than that. It's absurd and perplexing. Now, you can talk about maybe the creation of a monolithic structure like the pyramids, or you can argue Stonehenge, or you can argue a individual monolithic type structure as having been created from that of humanity in its current entities, current sizing, shapes, metrics, and accounts, and technological capabilities and capacities, both present and past. It's already done, thusly it was done. Whether it was technology past and or present, it had to be one or the other. Okay? There's no other way. Again, keep in mind this is all for philosophical entertainment. Before we get further, we might want to apologize for something about last stream. Apologies. Pertaining to last stream, sorry about that. Excellent. Forgive and forget, right? That's how we work around here, okay, money? Remember, it's because of Kev we're even here today. All right. We'll get past Nephilim, but yeah, obviously, greater entities, greater beings, they are counted in literary works. Thusly, yeah, we believe they were there because there is literary evidence and there is physical evidence. So the only thing that we don't have is even more physical evidence, which ironically exists theoretically now, and that of the old photos, and that of the bones of giants, and that of the, ancient kind of dig sites, or older dig sites at this point, all right, with which house these remnants, these remains that have said to been transported and toted to Smithsonians and museums and lay housed and buried in foundations to be forgotten by the eyes of man. Hey, now you even have accounts in older literary books that are, kind of obfuscated or, left out or changed, omitted, and or inherently by design, okay? Maybe they were proven false when they took it out of the books and hid the information. It's like, see, it doesn't exist after all, stupid humans. And mankind was like, oh, well, that's fantastic. Not only did you cover those giant megalithic bones to show us that they don't exist, but you hid them and buried them and then removed all the text that talked about them. Now we know that you're really telling the truth. Thank you, entities and powers that safeguard information and knowledge that be. You are protecting that of our precious thoughts. Remember, New York Times operates off secretive measures and metrics. Our book, as a self-published author, can never become a New York Times best-selling book, theoretically, unless we venture to join the good old boys club of Ingram Spark and Draft to Digital, former Smashwords, okay? That's right. You got to join these good old boy clubs to play the thing. They're giving you the Brondo of books when you go on a trip and you're thinking, let me pick up the newest New York Times bestseller. It's not what you're getting. That's a universally kind of known and afforded thought or conscious thought that you're getting, okay? Whether it's a horror or a thriller or a drama or a history or a political thriller, whatever. Doesn't matter the type of New York Times bestseller. They're giving you the Brondo of what minds crave, okay? Believe you me. That's why we say don't buy this book, and, well, Kev's funny. So Kev says he bought one, okay? All right, now that's going to change that. We're going to drop all that, but, we literally, all right, because we work off a closed Shyzalosophical Gödelian loop, all right, that of good old physics, all right, we have our own little novel extension, very novel extension to Deutsch's constructor theory, okay? Now, it might be a novel extension, but lectonic usages with that thereof are insane, okay? I mean, we already proved our theory when we literally moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3. Verifiable. You can't claim this shit and not back it up, okay? We already proved our theory when we did that. The minute that happened, all right, we took this dead book and we said, whoops, better play by academics rules. We jacked up the price to $250. Don't buy it. Do not buy it. Kev bought it. Don't listen to Kev. Don't get us wrong, Kev, it's even funnier now. And it gets funnier and funnier the more that it goes on. It's a literal intelligence paradox. This is thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag. Not only that, but we made it $250 so people would not buy it. Do not buy it, because it's free. You can go to Kindle Unlimited, download it, and read the entire thing for free. We get 0.04 cents for every page read. We don't get rich. We're not rich. Money's a construct. We want for naught. You'll find out a few things that are a little different about good old Shyzabox, not being under an NDA or working for a big company, to where we just disseminate and give away that of all of our games, our demos, our theories. It's all free. Go to the IPFS site or any of the pinata. Knock yourself out. Not only that, but we don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science, because math and science are universally not made by us. we didn't create math, we didn't create science. We may have re-stumbled upon some stuff, and we might be very good at using some old ancient philosophical methodologies with which to disseminate and extract that of computational information and or endeavors, means, metrics, and accords to make cool shit. Okay? But foundationally, anyone can, all right? It's thermodynamic enlightenment and a price tag. This book, this dead book, literally priced itself at 94% off on Amazon.com. Don't buy it. It's trying to trick you. It tricked Kev. That's why we have this whole episode now. Now, foundationally, like we said, is literally thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag. And remember, no external fact can contradict a closed, inherent, closed system, okay? Mankind can know knowledge, but mankind doesn't really understand knowledge until they know to understand knowledge, right? When you start looking at how different methods work for big companies to disseminate their informations. We'll get to your next thing. Yes. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're missing on different dimensions. All right, let's stop our stupid thoughts. Okay, because remember, Shyzabox gets sidetracked too. We get long-winded, and as a mostly boomer type, we can forget our place, which is at the ground floor level of being best of the worst. Okay? Believe you me, your thoughts are far better, more entertained than that of our own. All right, on different dimensions. All right, let's talk about the dimensions, okay? We love talking about this. In fact, K-Money, you might like one of our really kind of older little videos that we put out on like string theory and stuff like that. You might not. They all suck. It doesn't matter. But we'll go into it now fresh. Believe you me, it'll be better and or worse. All right, as far as dimensionality and things of that nature, again, keep in mind, this is all for philosophical entertainment, everybody. Crazy old Shyzabox. We don't want to get, we feel us getting a little hot under the collar, okay? We don't want to lead people astray. If we are getting a little angry and things of that nature, all right, it's because when you start dabbling in the metaphysical, believe you me, you can start taking it a little personal, and we don't want to do that, okay? We lay the lithic foundation as a structure for us to begin on and start anew. Thank you for the love hearts. We deserve them. All right, let's see. We got blue up there. Hey, look at that. We got green. All right, so let's go with the basics of kind of the dimensions that exist, okay? Depending on what school of science you want to go with, all right, it has been thusly proven that dimension 0 through dimension at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, many cases up to dimensions 11, okay, exist. So, hold on, we're going to do this reverses backwards, K-Money. All right, so, can you even see this? Probably not. All right, so you got, well, that one's not going to work for sure. Screw that. Well, hey, we're fixing it. Get off our back. Get a better camera. Buy us a better camera. All right, you got dimension 0, dimension 1, dimension, hold on, we're going backwards 2, dimension 3, dimension 4, dimension 5, and we're going to stop there, okay? Because, like we said, depending on the school of thought that you go to or believe in, that's what you want to do. So as far as dimensionality goes, theoretically, of course, we reside here in dimension 3, okay? So this is going to be the physical, this is the interactable, this is all of the components of where we live within that of this dimension. Now, obviously, one would say that if your dimension's here, and this dimension's here, and this dimension's here, and this dimension's here, and this dimension's here, this dimension's here, up and or down, to the total amount of dimensions that can and or cannot exist theoretically. Again, keep in mind, all for philosophical entertainment. All right, the wherein a lot of science talks about and such is not only the entanglements that happen in that of our own dimension. K-Money, this is us in this dimension, okay? This is you buying a copy of De-Lektable, which affords the metric of dumb-tectable to move as far as the intelligence paradox that we were afforded the opportunity to set up for that of mankind. You're welcome. No one wants it. Now, shut up, Mom. Theoretically, hey, only we can talk to our mom like that. All right, so this is you interacting here, all right? Now, as the dimensions go and do their own thing, yeah, you have things that cannot cross over, all right? You have all of the physical properties here that are not going to be able to be metaphysical here and or here, all right? So that's where a lot of things like you'll hear terms like gnosis, or you'll hear terms like spirituality, or you'll hear terms like spirit or anything like that, all right? Theoretically, insert whatever word you want to, insert Ein Sof or anything like that as a all-encompassing for anything you want, okay? It doesn't matter, all right? Theoretically, we're here on this little component and portion thereof, and we'll happily entertain anything, but the entanglements that we create here, theoretically, yeah, there is abilities to quantum tunnel into that of almost any dimension and or version thereof that you would seek to go, theoretically, again, all for philosophical entertainment, okay? So, happily to entertain any ideas therewith, we do a longer, we do a longer little talk on it and things of that nature, and believe you me, we do have, I want to say a couple of countings maybe in some of our literary works of sort, but definitely we do have an older video or two on thereof, but we're happy to entertain any questions that you got. Again, we don't know. We can only theorize and give that of our metaphysical interpretations thereof. Now, believe you me, a lot of our interpretations that we've derived and deduced and, come upon that of ourselves as far as what we inherently disseminate and or believe structurally in that of itself for us, okay, because everyone needs to believe that of what they want to believe. We can tell you our opinions, we can tell you our philosophical interpretations, we can lead you to that of the same source material that we have. When we tell people we don't hide behind the math, we don't hide behind the science, that's because we don't, that's because we have all of the links in the descriptification. Go audit the shit out of us, okay? We encourage it, we welcome it, we want it, because we don't want to be wrong. No one wants to be wrong inherently, okay? No one has a desire to set out for inherent failure upon successive failure. Ironically, every time we fail, we just fail upwards. People try and get rid of us. Let's see what we're missing, ones of chats. Happy to entertain anything else on dimensionality and things of that nature. But yes, therein it's been shown in quantum physics and things of that nature and quantum mechanics that of the different dimensionalities that have been, shown to be there for present. Now, as far as to what degree, if you can get to dimension 11 or anything, you can see some contradictions on whether that is apparent or not. Theoretically, we think that it is, and we follow more that train of thought, but we haven't looked into dimensionalities or things like that for quite some time, so there could be new works on it that we're not privy or up to date or savvy enough on therein, but happy to entertain any further studies thereof as well. Let's see what's going on. Oh, well, we've cooled off a little bit, no reason to be hot-headed anymore, right? All right, let's see. Yes, sir, demons potentially being the aliens or dimensional beings. Hey, that's a great one. We'll start talking about that. Give us 1 sec. Let's just catch up. Hey, what's up, Bluesky? What's going on, Rob? Hello and hi. Yes. So, of course, Rob, you've been here a good few times in the past, right? K-Money made us come to work today. We already said it's okay. We didn't have anything else going on, believe you me. It's because of K-Money that we get to actually enjoy that of our morning just the better. That's right. Mad appreciation and props. He made a whoopsie and bought De-Lektable. Now, don't be mad at him. He wanted to read the funnies. You mean the typos? No, not the typos. That's an extra perk. There's at least 6, 7. Alrighty. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yes. Demons. Potentially being aliens and or dimensional beings. Yeah, so absolutely. So if you go back even into that of the Key of Solomon, Lesser Key of Solomon, or go into any of like the Egyptian Book of the Dead or anything like that, you can start seeing some underlying and overlaps between different types of understandings, all right, that might have correlated to that of the understanding of what could be deemed dimensionality and or beings existing in that of another dimension, okay? Now, believe you me, theoretically, there are accounts and accords and things of that nature of that of even what the archangels and that of what the, components of all aspects of celestial entities and beings could be of account for in that of scientific terms, okay? Now, we venture not into, entertaining that of that information and such, but therefore that information is available and does exist. So, we use that of our understandings and that of what we've, deduced and ascertained and things of that nature to let it not influence that of where we are now, but let it influence that of how we can work together going forward. Okay? If you look at different kind of dimensionalities and different types of entities and or beings, you can start to think in terms of the unseeable and or the unseen and unaccountable, okay? Now, believe you me, we separate that of all of the theological and the religious components from that of every single scientific aspect and component therewith, okay? Laugh all you will, all right? We don't fall into the ideological sinkhole that is trying to align God with that of everything, okay? It's much easier to afford that of everything to that of God, for it just works better that way and it's easier foundationally, okay? Now, believe you me, we understand as cosmological philosophers, maybe the atheists and maybe that of any heathenistic practice and maybe that of anyone who deems a practice towards a different entity, being, or deity therein, you may assume that of a different title or vernacular usage to get on the same at least level playing field and look past that of petty squabbles pertaining to interpretations thereof, mankind's limited understandings therewith, all right? Insert whatever deity may have mercy on your soul and or life here. Let's start working together above that here, okay? Once you get past the structural foundation, all right, of the petty aspects that keep people divisive and just divided across the board, you can structurally lay a greater foundation towards a greater future with everyone working together, okay? Believe you me, works far better that way should one ascribe to that of the practices of working with your neighbor instead of against them. Anyone can do it. I guess it just takes a little bit of dedication. But believe you me, some neighbors get the finger and deserve it. Yeah, I mean, we are human after all. Means we get the shortcomings therewith as well. But no matter how you look at it, whether you kind of, ascribe to the fact that you follow a deity and or one that is not in accord or afforded thereto, you're still on the ride together with that of everyone else who is here, okay? Subjective interpretations, be damned, it doesn't matter, okay? Now, obviously, that's very offensive to anyone who is not inherently satisfied with that of their own theological and or, personal beliefs with that of religion. They take it as a slight, they take it as an insult when it is not meant therein to be, okay? It means that they just aren't actually as comfortable in their own theological understanding, all right, to with even attempt to start working with that of whom they may not understand or who may ascribe to practices, beliefs, or, differences that are catastrophically or monumentally different, okay? Now, keep in mind, there is a base foundation and a line of what would be deemed or construed as the principles upon which anyone would deem to want to interact with and or be a part of. All right, you have to have a foundational understanding of right and wrong, or what is okay and what is not okay, and that of doing good and being good versus not doing good and not being good. Okay? when you can completely understand an evil that is counterintuitive to the structural foundation, obviously that's one of those evils with which need be removed, okay? Now, there's ways to do it ethically, and there's ways to do it, in manners and means that are not atrocious to that of mankind's past historical entailments, okay? But keep in mind, where we go one, we go all, and that of how you interact with these other entities and other, sources that might conflict or be contradictory to that of your own. You need to inherently just structure yourself to have a foundational understanding, to interact with it at the best of your ability. Something like that. Who cares? Da-da-da-da. But as we venture forth and forward into, that of our endeavors, like we said, we might change around some of the aesthetic layout around here. We might not, but we probably will. As we've been meaning to for some time, and because Kev motivated us to come to work today, don't celebrate that. We were supposed to be off. I guess we like to give the people what they want. Not more of this. Well, fair enough. Too late. When we called Daryl Dixon dibs at being best of the worst internet celebrities that there is, we knew what was coming along with it. Bunch of crap. That's what you get. That's right. But as we venture into that of the, future endeavors, K-Money, this show would not have been, even embarked upon if it weren't for the generosity and or gracious of that of one's desire of mine to seek out that of what they must seek and not that of what is just handed to and or presented to them, okay? Now, believe you me, that takes legwork, okay? And that's what grounds that of that physical, okay? There can be metaphysical all day, K-Money, but you have just inherently taken the steps to ground that of that physical understanding, that of that necessity to which you probably already do on your own accord in any way, shape, or form already, okay? You already go and get your tires fixed when they need to be fixed. You already go and address problems that need to be addressed. You already unicycle, whether on a unicycle back and forth with 6 kids or not. You already play the role foundationally of that of what you play, and believe you me, it is epic and very, very monumental in the most epic of proportions to that of the foundation that it lays, all right? When you resonantially now intertangle and intertwine with that of good old Shyzabox, well, now you are just going to pretty much have your algorithm screwed up from now on. Sorry about that. You will thusly get to embark upon that of the journey that you wish to embark on, and of course, the roller coaster ends at any point in time that you wish it to. That's the great thing about it. In the meantime, be sure that no matter what, everyone, you go take care of yourself first and foremost, because there's only one you. We can't replace you by creating fake accounts and subscribing to ourselves over and over. We can only do it once. We got yelled at and in trouble once upon a time. We made too many fake accounts. If we didn't subscribe to ourselves, it probably would have worked out in our favor. Doesn't matter. You take care of yourselves first, because there's only one you, and there is, no way that we can replace you. Then you look around, you take care of anyone else who really, really needs it second, because believe you me, there's people who really need help and may not know how to ask for it, may not know even how to attempt to cite how they can receive it, all right? You take care of them second. Then you look around the room, you see us in the corner peddling our wares. Buy all this crap, right? Kev's tricked, he buys a copy of De-Lektable. Doesn't matter, You look around the whole room, all right, if there's anyone that you like or love more than us, unlikely, but maybe, okay, maybe 6, 7 more people, all right? You help them out. But if you got anything left over at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers, that's us, we'll take it. Because believe you me, whether you're buying Transmutating God or reading it for free on Kindle Unlimited by going to Amazon and searching Shyzabox books, that is a reciprocality within the conscious thought that one can be afforded the opportunity to partake in. Because remember, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Downvote the shit out of this, go to Cashapp and give us a buck, or go to Amazon.com and buy one of our books. Get off our lawn!